do it. We do it. Do it again. 'Cause I got a feeling. Ooh. Yeah, tonight's gonna be a good night. Sorry, I'm doing the bluegrass version.
Tonight's gonna be a good night.
Oh, man.
It exists. Look up the Cloverleys. I like it.
Oh, yeah. I know about the Cleverleys.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the Cloverleys, the band, does not look the same as it did at the time they did that song. Like, literally every member is different except for the head guy.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I saw something, they were like, we're going to be at the Grand Ole Opry. And it was like, I don't recognize any of you except for the main guy.
Check out them slams.
Yeah. Da-da-da.
Top chat, live chat.
You should
Let the boys be boys.
Yeah, let the boys be boys.
Da-da-da. Nope.
No?
That's Tom Steiner.
Yeah.
Wait,
Isn't
did
it?
you say Tom Snyder?
No, I said Tom Steiner. Isn't that what do-do-do-do is?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Hey, I am subscribed to our channel, and it looks like I have rung the bell.
Give me a complimentary notification.
Here.
You're welcome.
It didn't say anything nice about me.
You're welcome, sexy.
Give me a complimentary BMFcast. I'm so tempted to say that in so many situations, and there are 3, maybe 4 people that I know
That would
get it.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 of them are in this room with me right now. Live chat.
What you don't see, what I had to crop, unfortunately, in the occupational picture over here that is taking up the empty seat,
Mm-hmm.
you can only see part of the exit door. But what you don't see is it says to exit from elevator.
Elevator. Does it really?
No.
Get out. You're fired.
Chuck would be happy.
Hey, you know what you could do if you're watching this video right now, in the present or in the future? You could click that like button.
I like that I've messed
I'm
with...
not asking you to do it or
I-
saying you should, but you could.
I've messed with Chuck's frame so many times that I know exactly where to put my hand to reach the actual frame.
Hey, Steve's here.
Hey, it's Steve.
Welcome, Steve.
Like the bird. The heron.
Steve is a full-grown adult now.
Steve's a man.
It's weird.
I bet he has a beard now. Steve, do you have a beard now?
You should have
Yeah,
a beard.
it's
Ah,
I bet he has.
Hey,
Cool
hey,
people
stop,
have beards.
Stop that.
Just look at this room.
Oh,
Beard.
this isn't a good
Beard.
example.
Beard. Bearded.
I mean, you don't need a beard, but you can have one.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to allow that from Steve, like the once like a child heron, that he makes a Space Jam reference versus
It's
an Onyx reference.
he's in the proper age bracket.
I will allow
for
it, yeah.
the jam from space.
I will allow it.
Still never seen it,
Oh,
nor the second.
I've seen them both. The second one is a thing to behold. I didn't say it's a good thing. It's just, it's a thing to behold. It's one of those, like, things where, I don't know, you would just think a movie like that would be focus grouped to death. And it's like, that one didn't see a single one. Like,
Really?
yeah, it just flew under the radar, and they're like, yeah, sure, I guess, like...
Who made it? Who was the director on it? LeBron James.
Yes, probably, yeah.
LeBron ran into another one of those like, "Hey, LeBron's the best player ever." People. And I was like, "So winning doesn't matter." Okay, that's what you've said.
Where's the all-time points? CP Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's because he's been playing for 30 fucking years.
And
Actually-
usually you can just say, "Are you under 40?" And they say, "Yes." And I go, "Okay, never mind. You'll never understand."
I believe he achieved it in fewer games than Kareem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's about the same age? Something like that? Close to the same age?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Kareem did this when like there was no anything.
Yeah.
like the trainer was like, "Hey, I'm going to rub some dirt on it."
Right.
Yeah.
No sports medicine.
Hey, why don't you cut back on the smoking? Was the amount of training they were given.
We've done sports talk already at the beginning of one of our
I know.
podcasts. We can't do that again.
I know. Chuck might be watching, so I want to piss him off.
Well, Jim Brown is.
Yeah. Malcolm D.
Okay.
Lee directed this. Directed Space Jam the Second. Director of Girls Trip and The Best Man Holiday and The Best Man and Undercover Brother.
That makes a lot of sense.
Interesting.
That's the only one of those I've seen. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a weird part of me that really loves Undercover Brother, but again, it's the part of me that is kind of amazed that it exists, that like nobody fucked with it, like that it was allowed to be made first, and then that it just came out in its form that it was. It was like almost unfinished, sort of.
It's
weird, like it's.
Although it does have that. I'm pretty sure this is an Undercover Brother, where they just go around and it's like behind every great black man is a strong black woman, a bunch of slower white athletes, the police, that sort of round robin joke.
Maybe I don't know. It's been a
I've
while.
never seen it.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
He also did Scary Movie 5.
I don't know where I fell off the scary movies, but I know I didn't make it that far.
No.
Oh, now live on our channel is the Bad Movie Fiends.
Hey, how about that?
Cool.
The only thing about Undercover Brother I remember is it was one of those movies that for some reason took like 2 years to come out on DVD, despite being released in the 2000s. Like it was just one of those where it was just like now out on DVD, and I was like, that movie came out like 2-3 years ago. Like,
some Warner Brothers executive with
Yeah.
the cigars, like DVD players aren't cheap enough for the blacks to have them yet,
oh my God,
or something like that.
you're probably not far off.
Yeah.
Actually, sadly.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about Undercover Brother is it was really the beginning of the Doogie Howser, Neil Patrick Harris Renaissance. I'm just saying, like, it's just, everyone is like, oh, he was in Harold and Kumar, and then he was like famous again. And it's
Steve, who was the original director that was pseudo avant-garde?
It was the guy that directed The Forbidden Zone.
It was not.
yeah, I'm in no way saying Space Jam 2 or New Legacy or whatever it's called is good. It's just one of those, like, you see it and you're like, you just expect a movie like that to be focus grouped to death, and you're like, who is this for? Like, like you're making references that are just like, what?
Are they old man references?
They're fucking bizarre references. There's characters from like 60s Italian horror movies and shit in the background. It's fucking weird.
I heard Gremlins are in it.
Probably. I mean, it becomes like Ready Player One, where it's like everything that Warner Brothers owns is probably slammed to the screen at some point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, in like in terms of like throw the kitchen sink in it sort of way. But it's just weird.
Yeah,
weird movie.
So to further piss off Chuck, food chat.
Oh,
Yeah?
I made risotto last night.
Yeah?
It took fucking forever.
45 minutes?
Longer.
Really?
Yeah, because I tried it at that point and it was still like the rice felt crumbly, like not the right consistency, like it wasn't soft properly.
Did you toast it first?
No, or yeah,
Okay.
actually yeah. I put I had butter, garlic, and onion in the pan. Did that and then
toasted it with onion.
and then toasted the and then got the rice in with that.
Turn up your heat. That's the only thing I could guess.
Yeah, but I mean,
You're still getting used to that gas stove.
yeah, it's awesome though, because like when you adjust the heat, it's like almost instantaneous that it
Yeah.
reacts. It's,
No, you're cooking with gas.
Do you have a good cast iron pan?
I don't actually. That's the thing. We're gonna get new stuff. Like our stuff is old and busted.
You
I
need
need new hotness.
or you need an old cast iron pan.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Cast iron's weird to me, but
One that's seen some shit.
yeah, like a war veteran
Yeah.
cast iron pan.
Cast iron pan with a 1,000-yard stare.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Cast iron pan that's afraid of fireworks.
Yeah.
cast iron pan.
Don't make
whose-
popcorn in that cast iron pan.
a cast iron pan his wife slept with like 10 guys while it was gone.
Well, being how cast iron tends to absorb all the flavors, I would suggest maybe getting one that hasn't been in the shit. Yeah, just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I actually might get a made-in set because they're not as expensive as you'd think.
A what set?
Made-in,
What's that?
it's like what a lot of
No, you're
Big time
It's
chefs
not
use
actually.
that.
It's not a brand. You're just missing the rest of it. The last part's China. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just an idiot.
like, I'm not arguing that part.
Griswold.
But
Griswold is what the cast
we
iron
may not
nerds
even
love.
get that because we may just find something that nests in itself from like Costco or whatever.
Hey,
Because we
I
have,
know you like nesting things.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got those nesting bowls from you.
Yeah. That was
What's the word? But
You're still-
not struka. What's the Russian nesting?
Matryoshka.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
You still have them.
Natasha Leone.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's
My
not
set is still
Russian.
going strong
Oh,
as well.
she
the
is in
plastic
Russian
set.
dollars. Okay, I get the joke now. All right. It took
That
me a
was
second
a
there.
that was a
Yeah.
Harlow joke.
That was a
and I-
Harlow joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that took me a second.
But her name's Natasha as well, so
That's true.
it has a double meaning.
Yeah.
Because that name's kind of Russian.
It is. Yes. As in Boris End. Yeah.
How's the strainer holding up? The wire mesh.
Not
strainer?
great.
No,
I don't use it very much.
Is it rusting or?
No, it seems like it gets shit in it and you just can't get it out.
Yeah, I have that problem too.
Yeah. So
very
we actually
fine
have a
mesh.
colander that I tend to use more often. So I kind of stopped.
Well, as long as it's not like falling apart.
no,
Okay,
it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I assumed that it would be decent quality,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, it's stainless steel. Maybe it's made poorly. Who knows?
See, Kyle's with it.
Yeah,
Kyle's with it properly.
Good
but
job.
I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it wasn't a waste of money.
No. You have the rainbow one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the microphone before I bust in my pants.
It looks
man.
it looks nice sitting out, but I don't have counter space, so
Yeah.
I keep it in a But I do have a Pyrex nesting bowl set, primary colors,
Mm-hmm.
from like the 60s, I think, 60s or 70s. That one gets pride of place
Yeah.
because it's vintage.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Pyrex doesn't
cookware
have all
chat.
that BPA shit like old Tupperware does.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
staying at my family's house for 4 months, all the Tupperware was like legit from the 70s. Like it had the little hook on the parts of it, like where you could on the edge of the lids
Mm-hmm.
that where you could snap
Hang
them onto something to hang them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh shit, this is really old. This is like leaching cancer
Crumble,
into me
yeah.
as I
Can't reheat anything
put
in that shit
no,
anymore.
absolutely not.
Your meal becomes half cancer and half
Yeah, I was not
vaguely
a fan.
edible plastic.
So we went through a lot of Ziploc when we were there.
Yeah. My I think I've talked about this in the food channel, but my cast iron is really coming along now that I've been cooking
Mhm.
with it more.
Yeah.
I was trying to just like season it pretty regularly, but fucking just cooking in it. Cooking in it does it.
So, what is the cleaning process?
It depends on what level of nast you've gotten it to. So generally what you should do is you should take a wooden scraper,
Mm-hmm.
put hot water in it, or put water in it as it's, as it's cooling down, and just scrape all of the shit out
Mm-hmm.
and wipe it down with a towel, and then oil it and dry it off and oil it.
What kind of oil?
Wesson.
Olive or vegetable?
Vegetable. Olive tends to go rancid,
Yes, it does.
so you don't want to, like, it oxidizes and goes rancid a lot faster than other oils. You can use Crisco. You can use lard if you really want.
Yeah.
But
Lard me, baby.
yeah, vegetable oil or vegetable
Lard have mercy. Am I right?
sugar. Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. That's my soul food restaurant.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Cooking any foods with fats in them,
Mhm.
like bacon or hamburgers, shit like that.
Accelerates the seasoning process.
It helps. Yeah, it helps a lot. I've been doing a lot of that recently, and it comes out looking, glassy when I'm done with it. But if you need to clean it like more aggressively,
Mm-hmm.
you can pour a bunch of rock salt in there and then a bit of water and then use something to scrub, and the rock salt is gentle enough that it won't take off the seasoning.
Yeah.
If it's really hard to get off stuff, then you can get like a stainless steel scrubby.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if it's real nasty, put some soap in that bitch. You know, people say that soap will kill your seasoning, but if you have good seasoning on your pan, then soap shouldn't be a problem, because what you're ideally doing when you're seasoning your pan is polymerizing those fats, basically turning them into essentially plastic, but like, natural plastic. So you heat up the fats and they polymerize. Like dish detergent, especially in small quantities, shouldn't be able to touch that. So if dish detergent ruins your cast iron pan, then your pan sucked to begin with, and you should be re-seasoning it.
I thought you were about to say you should be ashamed, and you should.
Use Dawn. It's safe enough to clean the ducks from the oil.
That's right.
So, I mean, you can probably eat it.
Okay, you know how that I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap thing?
Mm-hmm.
My mom did that to me, but with Dawn. She made us stick our tongues out, and she would squirt Dawn onto it and make us just hold it there.
Your
That's
mom's
child
mean.
abuse.
Your mom's mean.
Yeah.
You can't get that shit off for like days.
It's awful. It's objectively awful, and it's an awful thing to do to a child, I realize now. I mean, I felt like it was then, but
Yeah.
especially now, like, Jesus fucking
Yeah,
Christ.
you'd be.
Mother, are you a psychopath?
Yeah. You'd be tasting food like it's COVID for like 3 days after that
Yeah.
shit.
I still distinctly remember the taste of Dawn whenever I smell it, but I still use it because it's
I do too. She was really nice.
my man.
Should we do a podcast?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Sure, why not, right?
There's not one man here.
What's funny is
woken up at the crack of dawn.
What's funny is we, like the past couple weeks, we'd be wrapping up right about now.
Right.
Yeah, here we are. That's my fault. I got here an hour late.
Ready for these hands to slam?
Yeah. Da-da-da.
All right, we're going to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 569.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
Nice Tendo.
We need one more.
Nice.
Hey, thank you. All right. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it. And then good bad movie. Or then they get ratings. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. The ratings part. They get good bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Good movies.
That's a normal sliding scale upwards.
Yes.
But then there's a negative sliding scale, which, means it goes downwards. Sort of like a ski lift versus the skiing part. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in this one, the fun is the opposite way.
Yeah, but those are for the bad movies.
Yes.
And then, stay away. They get a negative 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of
Bags.
trash.
Yeah. Boo.
Throw them in the bin.
Yeah.
Throw them in the portalet.
So, still smack dab in the happiest time of the year.
Hell yes.
Blaxploitation History Month is upon us,
Yeah.
and this week brings us 1973's The Slams,
Yeah.
starring one Mr. Jim Brown, who has not
Yeah.
graced the BHM section for a little while.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but he kicked off our very first Blaxploitation History Month with Slaughter.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite Blaxploitation movies we've ever watched.
Yep. I think it's my favorite.
Might be my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that or Three the Hard Way. I mean, which I think he's in
Both
both
have
of them.
him,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he was also in Black Gun, Slaughter's Big Ripoff. And later on, he was also in Original Gangstas. And a bunch of other shit. Like, he keeps showing up. Which is good, because I like him whenever he's in a movie.
Yes, that's a good distinction to make.
No, I mean, like, Jim Brown, like, he's just... There's...
I'm just saying nowadays Jim Brown is he's been concussed. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna blame it on that.
Yeah.
He's
you're
Herschel
not-
Walkered himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I mean,
Yeah, his lady's played by Judy Pace, who's also a decorated alum
Yeah.
from Cotton Comes to Harlem, and she was also in shit. Where'd it go?
That's
Ah,
have we seen that one?
Cool Breeze and Cotton Comes to Harlem. Sorry, I was like,
That actually sounds like a blaxploitation history movie.
Oh
Like,
shit!
Yeah, it does.
Where'd it go?
The money. Oh shit! Where'd it go? Yeah, and then we had Paul Harris, who was Gator in Truck Turner,
Oh yeah, Gator.
who had that giant picture of himself on the wall.
Good old Gator. Everybody loves Gator.
Yeah. Also, might as well mention this is Jonathan Kaplan, who also directed Truck Turner, and a lot of these people show up. A lot of the side characters in this also show up in Truck Turner, like the warden, or not the warden, the captain of the guard guy, who's kind of like
Yes.
kind of your main bad guy throughout. He shows up in Truck Turner, as well as
That's Bob
Truck Turner.
something or another.
Roland Bob Harris.
Roland Bob Harris.
Roland
that's it.
Bob Harris. Roland,
Yeah.
but it's
Oh,
more
okay.
fun to say Roland
Roland.
Bob Harris.
That's how I addressed him
Yeah.
when we were best friends.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of other people. Dick Miller shows up in this as well, because he's Dick Miller, and I don't need to list the movies that Dick Miller has been in, but
All of them.
No, but please do.
no, I'm
okay.
sure. I'm
All right.
sure. Honestly, like even though he's never been a main character in any of them, between Extra and this, he's probably shown up as many times as anybody we've covered.
Perhaps.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's always like, hey, he was in it for one scene, and he did his Dick Miller thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Also, did we mention Lurch is in this?
yeah, that's a good call.
Lurch is in this.
But the original Lurch from the original Addams
Yeah.
Family, yeah.
Right.
TV's Addams Family.
Yeah, but we didn't really describe the plot, did we?
No, we're going to do that now.
No, we don't,
No, but
we
I
don't
mean,
really
like
do
a
that at the
brief
beginning
synopsis.
anymore. Yeah, we don't really do the synopsis.
Oh,
thing
really?
anymore. Yeah, we haven't done that for a while. I don't know.
Man, I've been gone so long.
But,
I forgot.
So somewhere it
Yeah.
fell off, and I didn't
But-
bemoan it.
This is a Jim Brown goes to prison movie.
Yeah, I mean, if it hadn't come out when it had, and it didn't star who it had, I would be on the fence about whether or not to call this a blaxploitation movie, just because it's not. It doesn't follow the typical rules of most of those movies. I mean, it's kind of just guy in prison movie with an agenda to get out. I mean, that's really it. I mean, it starts with a foiled. I mean, he is part of a crazy heist that we just see in the middle of. I mean, they're just enacting
Yeah.
it as the movie starts.
Yeah,
And
the movie starts. We're like literally as they're showing up
yeah, and
to start the heist.
It's weird because they're doing this heist at like a small oil field somewhere, and they've got a truck like with the hose and stuff. I'm like, is this some kind of weird? I mean, I know there was like a gas crisis in the
oil heist,
'70s,
yeah.
but like this is like a little too wild card bitches for me to like be stealing gas, but yeah, but I mean, it's not. They're just actually there to murder people who are doing a drug deal at this place. They murder some folks outside, and then they lock everybody in this trailer. I guess the foreman's trailer or whatever, and then cyanide the whole trailer from the top from a vent, and then walk in, and there's a briefcase of money and a briefcase of drugs.
yeah,
It's
and
an
Jim,
interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jim Brown tries to leave the drugs behind, and the other guy makes him bring them.
So, and then they're just getting away, and I don't know if it was like Jim Brown faking car trouble or actual car trouble, but they have car trouble, and he pulls over, and I mean, they had a brief discussion of like, I don't mess with drugs; they're bad for my community. Clearly, obviously, his other two partners are white, should be mentioned, I guess. Not that it's necessarily germane, but yeah, he's just like, I no drugs. Like the money's fine. I'll take my cut out of the money. Y'all deal with the drugs. I'm not part of it. And then they have car trouble, and one guy makes a signal to take out Jim Brown. That's why I'm like not sure if
He's
think
faking it.
He
He's
saw the
faking it.
writing on the wall.
Sure.
Because he had luckily for him, he had concealed a shotgun in the bumper of the vehicle.
You don't have a shotgun in your bumper?
I drive a Hyundai.
Okay.
yeah.
even
So
more
make it a
reason.
gun day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
no, I don't. I don't own a shotgun, unfortunately.
Oh.
Or fortunately, I'm
Well, then
not.
whose
no.
shotgun did I find in your bumper the other day?
Jen's probably.
Okay, that makes
Seems
sense.
like the other logical solution.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But yes,
he's got a gun.
He gets I mean, they try to get the drop on him. He gets the drop on them. Now but he gets tagged in the leg in this shootout.
Yeah.
Like one guy tries to come at him with a little Luger, and the other guy's got an M16 for some fucking reason. Just like got to take it home from Nam, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, and he gets tagged in the leg, so he's limping and bleeding, and basically makes it down to this abandoned pier, tucks the money and no, he tosses the drugs in the ocean, which probably just immediately wash up on shore, kind of negating his
Yeah,
whole
he probably
plan.
should have opened the baggies before dumping them in the water.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but
That way, all those
He was
dolphins
losing
could
a lot
get
of-
high.
yeah. But
He
now
was,
that
he was losing a lot of blood at
they're
this
all
point.
just going to wash up on the beach now, and everyone succumbs to peer pressure. He dumped it from the pier. Yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
joke.
Yeah, but but he hides the money in an abandoned carnival.
yeah,
Basically.
like the ticket booth of
Yeah.
burnt out, shitty Coney Island ripoff
Yeah.
type thing. And then back in the van, and I guess is losing so much blood, he's just speeding down the highway and almost hits a cop, evades the cop, but then crashes and
Yeah,
wakes
rolls
up,
it.
Yeah, rolls, and then he wakes up in the hospital. At first I was like, his mom's actually there, in this weird, like, she's never in the movie again, never talked about ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, well, sorry, baby, you're going to jail as soon as you get better. It was like this cool hand Luke style moment or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I was like kind of expecting her to just like fade away, like his mom's been dead. I mean, in some
Yeah.
other movie, it was just like it was an apparition, and then the people walk in like you're
Yeah.
under arrest or whatever. But
Well, and I mean, let's get this out of the way first. Last week's movie was not a movie; it was barely a movie.
right,
This is made by people who know how to make a movie.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
This is like a real movie.
I'm not putting this down as like not being a movie or not possibly fitting in. I'm saying like through the
It just has different intentions.
the general tropes of blaxploitation history movies aren't necessarily here. This just happens to be. This could have been like something they were like they dusted an old like guy in prison movie from 10 years ago that was just sitting on the spec shelf, and they're like, Jim Brown's hot, put him in it, and
Yeah.
it became a blaxploitation history or blaxploitation movie. There's
Yeah.
no history. It is history.
It
now.
is part of history.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, generally these are like street level, versus racism or corrupt forces. The man in general, that's kind of your general blaxploitation,
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything deeper than what you're getting.
Yeah.
Is I guess what you're trying to say with the mom doesn't fade away. It's not doing
No,
anything
no.
like original. It's just like, all right, man,
Yeah, it's just like, well,
here's a prison movie.
yeah, no, and then pretty much, this is like some gaps in time. We don't see his trial or anything. It's just like he's in the hospital.
Yeah, they're
and
just
then,
checking him in.
And then we find out later they really don't get him on like the murders and the robbery and all that. They just get him on he had a weapon and he crashed a car. So
Yeah.
1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5 years.
Yeah. So his whole idea is like, if I just shut up and do my time, I've stashed money out. So I've stashed $1.5 million out that I don't have to share with anybody anymore. So if I just ride this out and don't make waves, I can just take that money.
But somehow everyone knows about the money.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Everyone.
well, they have crossed somebody clearly who was doing a $1.5 million drug deal.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 70s, which is a big drug deal. in
Yeah,
the
that
70s.
is.
Yeah. So I mean,
When a
clearly-
house
yeah.
back then costs $1,500,
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying like
1.5 million.
he's
is
clearly
a
pissed
lot.
some people off, and they're not just going to let that money go. So like they somehow put this together, and they know it's him. But, so yeah, he's got people coming at him from that side, from like the mob side, which I still never really understand. Is it actually specifically the guy that's in prison, or is it just like he's
I think it's the guys he works with.
okay? Yeah. It
Because
could-
they kept in the beginning they referred to the syndicate
yeah.
wants it back, and
Yeah, before he actually goes all the way to prison, he has like one visit. All right, 'cause actually no, he's already been like arraigned in the prison and
Oh, yeah.
everything. It's like they just call him into the warden's office and they're like, "Hey, we're the feds here, and if you we don't even really want you. Just tell us where the money and drugs are, so we can make a case against the syndicate." And he's like, "Don't know what you're talking about, man." Later, yeah, and then it's just all these people are aware of it. They're going to try to get at him either for the vendetta or
Yeah.
to make friends or
because the
concoct a
syndicate has
scheme.
put a hit out on
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
so they want to get the money
Yeah.
from that. But the mob guy in the jail clearly knows 1.5 million is better than whatever they paid to put a hit out on it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if this guy's like Paul Sorvino and Goodfellas in jail, just like he's actually the boss and he's just riding out his time, or if he's like lower down the chain. I mean, it's never really made
I feel like it's
completely
a
clear.
blaxploitation movie, so it's always there's the guy above the guy that you never see.
Probably, yeah.
That,
And it actually turns out to be the president.
yeah, but that was my feeling about it.
Sure.
It was like it's the guys from upstate who are calling the shots. And
Yeah. So you've got that guy who may or may not be the one who's got a vendetta on him, but then like the whole time, if he does have the vendetta or the hit out on him, then like it's real weird because like he spends his whole time basically trying to buddy up to him, like, "Hey, you're smart." Like either buddy up to them to figure out where the money is, or just like he actually respects his his hustle or something. I don't know, but he's never really coming at him like I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like that's never his.
Well, I mean,
his
they
direct
know
approach, at
they
least.
kill him, they don't get the 1.5 million.
He even tells him that, like,
Yeah.
you mess with me, you don't find out, you don't get to know where that 1.5 million is. I don't know where it is, but I have a few ideas. He says.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But
like any prison movie. Well, almost any prison movie. Unfortunately, it's you have your race gangs in prison. I mean,
Yeah.
you basically have I mean, they're never like called the Aryan Gang, and it's never really like built up on the whole like neo-Nazi symbolism, except for one guy does have a swastika tattoo earring thing. I don't
it's
know.
like a tattooed on his
Yeah.
earlobe.
It's like his alt-right lobe or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I don't.
And it's not really like Aryan Nation.
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
just
saying.
like
it's just
It's
like
just hey,
white
this
guys
is the gang
versus
of the
black
white guys.
guys.
basically, yeah, that's
And
what I'm
the
saying.
black
It
guys are
doesn't
the
go
other
like
gang.
full Oz where it's like oh,
Yeah.
okay, like
They don't
this
even
is-
have
this
a
is step beyond of like your typical like us versus them dumb bullshit.
they don't even have a Mexican gang. They just have white guys, black guys, and
Yeah.
guards.
It's just white guys and people of color are they're just all over there.
Yeah.
Except it's weird because like the Italian guy he seems to predominantly hire the people of color. Like his one friend or his one bodyguard who Jim Brown keeps like saying things as though he's black. He looks Samoan. I mean, I don't know what this dude's origin is, but I'm just saying he's got a big dude that like it's just weird for it to be like a race based like us versus them side in this prison. He has a lot of diversity hires. Let's just say that. So
He's a forward-thinking mob boss.
Yeah.
The mafia is big on DEI.
yeah. So the junior warden, the chief of the guard, it gets in on it. That's, as we mentioned, the guy from Chuck Turner. The main thing about him is like he's recently been promoted to this position. It seems like he's got some kind of underground game going with the Italian mob guy, where he allows him to do whatever in prison and get certain conceits, and this guy gets a payoff. And it seems like the warden just goes golfing every day or something. Like he's never actually there. Like,
Yeah. The warden's there for the introductory scene when he's like, "Hey, you gonna cut us a deal?" And Jim Brown's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know anything." And then he shows up at the end
for one of the best miniature
scenes of the movie. But it seems like they just had that guy for a day, and they just filmed those two scenes that day.
Probably.
But holy shit, that second scene, so good. But yeah, so he's gone, and really it becomes like this captain of the guard is kind of like there was a while I was like, is he actually the warden?
Yeah,
because I
that's what
kind of
thought.
forgot about the warden.
Yeah.
Because he's so non-present.
I thought for a second the way he was saying that, I was like, yeah, I guess he's the warden, but no, he's still wearing an officer's uniform. Wardens don't generally wear, correctional officer uniform, so whatever.
Yeah. But
Not that I know. I haven't spent a lot of time in jail, but I've watched a lot of movies.
spent enough time in jail to know.
Yeah, that's true.
But so it becomes it really he meets with once he's met with the main mob guy, he's also been put in kind of like his cellmate in his 4-person cell is the guy who's running basically the black group in the jail.
Right.
Who's like, I need to recruit you. His name's Macy, and he's like, I need you to join me.
I don't really understand their dynamic. Like I the whole movie, I don't really understand what their association with other than being of the same color. Like, I mean, it seemed like I never even knew if they knew each other outside of prison. It was never completely clear, and then I never really understood like why he did whatever favor he did at the end or for that guy. Like I don't get that whole. I mean, there's several things I don't really understand about people's motivations and how they were playing people, because it's the plot is sometimes played almost a little too close to the vest, where it's like there's a lot of scheming and it's not always made clear what their motivations are.
It seems like he knows him from the outside because Jim Brown is just kind of familiar with him, but also Jim Brown runs in criminal circles, so he's going to know the criminals. I don't know, I don't have any insight for anything else ever really, but that one at least, it just seems like he knows him because he immediately starts calling him by name. I mean, they're introduced by name, but he starts calling him by name pretty familiarly.
Yeah, I mean that's a pro tip for character naming. I mean, I don't think you can do it for every movie. It's got to be in the right kind of movies, but like, give your main character a really cool name that's unique and not necessarily just a name. Like this, like his character's name is Hook, and like that just
Right.
sounds cool because
Yeah.
like that's a thing, and also a name, a last name. You know, it's good. You know, like good ways
Yeah.
to name people like that.
Yeah, give him a name like Truck.
Yeah, exactly. These are fun. These are good names. Hook, Truck.
Yeah, Hook. Yeah, but Hook meets with his girlfriend and is just like, hey, I don't know where the money is, but I might need you to help me find a friend who might know where it is. And this is when Gator from Truck Turner gets recruited, who's basically just a pimp running like a fucking harem.
Yeah,
when she goes to meet him, it's like, okay.
Yeah, he's basically got the Playboy grotto in his house. Like
Yeah.
he's just got a pool with like a stone wall behind it and naked ladies by it all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes just having fun with them each other. So you know,
Yeah.
nothing. You know, it's all good. But yeah,
I would hang out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
seemed like a good time.
anyway, she goes to him, and it's never really their relationship as well is not really explained
No.
between him and Jim Brown. But he seems to be the only person aside from his girlfriend who, even his girlfriend, he doesn't trust that much. But he seems to be like, okay, we're doing this, and that guy's like, all right, cool, we're doing this, even though he just comes off as super shady.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just
It probably has
because
something.
of that character and him being basically a pimp, or if it's meant to be a misdirection that, hey, maybe he is going to fuck him over.
Well, I think it's the first scene where he's in the grotto. He gets kind of grabby with her too.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people get grabby with her, and well, probably just two. But I mean, like,
Mhm.
so I mean, it's just like you're immediately like, I don't trust this guy, you know. Like, so maybe maybe it's that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe people were just a lot more handsy back then. I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, not in a good way. Just like maybe
No,
just
I
more
think they're just
expected.
all
Yeah,
gross.
Yeah.
because what happens with the captain, is he keeps going to her and being like, hey, I can help your boy out in the jail if, you just kind of help me get that money. And she's like, I don't know where the money is. He doesn't know where the money is. Why don't you get out of my house? And
Yeah.
he just like will not leave her alone. And then there's a pretty heavy implication in one of the scenes later that
Yeah.
there's some unpleasantness with her and him. And they never really touch back on that at all.
Not even in the slightest, because I mean, even if like our keyword didn't actually happen, then I mean, he was at least like full on punching her in the face, and
Yeah.
you know, there
Yeah.
should have been like some sort of retribution.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, I mean, this guy gets it pretty good in the end, but not
Yeah.
not necessarily because of that. It's I don't think Book or Hook ever knows. I almost said
Mhm.
Book, but Hook
Yeah.
even ever knows, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And from here, it's just a lot of double cross type stuff that happens.
There are a lot of your standard prison tropes of like, oh, we're going in the yard and there's going to be an attempt on somebody, and
Mhm.
he dodges and gets somebody else stabbed, and then everybody sits around and goes, I don't know what's going on, you know,
Mhm.
like, and then there's a shower scene where the evil warden goes and locks him. Actually, no, that was the other evil guy. Basically lets Lurch and all of the racist dudes into the shower.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I think they're trying to establish this whole gang war in prison, but we don't really care about that.
not really.
I think
no.
that's the movie's problem, is it focuses a lot on that, and it's like, I don't care if either of these wins. I care about Jim Brown and the money.
Yeah.
And Jim Brown is like not present for any of those scenes, and it's just like, all right, they're gonna fight. And this kind of, it's really established that Lurch is gonna be like the big heavy throughout the movie, because I mean the scene where he's introduced, he pours molten lead on a dude's face to kill him for crossing.
Yeah, he does
the
the
mob boss.
Targaryen thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah,
remember
he
that, I don't remember
gives
that
him
dude's
not
name.
so golden crown.
Yeah,
Viserys.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, since that was like episode 3, and it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, spoilers for season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah, but they straight up pour the molten lead on this guy's face and murder him, and then the guard's just like, the fuck did you do?
As I think we were all rightly thinking in the room, why do prisoners have smelting capabilities?
Access to molten lead. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're running an entire print shop in this prison, and they've got the linotype machine or hot type machine, I guess, which like it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily throw someone's arm in there and get it ripped off, no problem. I mean, that's a dangerous machine in and of itself.
And they've got those printing presses. I forget what they're called. It's not an offset press, is it? Where you like it has a little ink roller that rolls onto a platen, and then like all sorts of dangerous and injurious machinery.
Yeah.
I think an offset press is like the original Gutenberg, the little type. No?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's movable type.
Movable
That's
type?
what you're
Okay,
thinking.
shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have access to all of this incredibly dangerous machinery and tools and industrial washers and dryers and acids and bleaches. Like
Yeah, and like the big
these people are having a gang war in your prison.
and like the big clothing press. That's you could roast a man in that thing.
You could. I'm surprised they didn't. They didn't, did they?
No one ever got thrown on the
No, it
ironing
comes
board.
close. It comes close because eventually there's a point where he finally ends up fighting Lurch, who the guy's name's Glover, which is another good heavy name. But they end up fighting, and the guards break it up before Lurch can press the button that's going to push the thing down on Jim Brown's face. But he has thrown bleach in his eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which seems like it would be a much rougher thing.
He's such a basic bitch.
Uh-huh.
But Jim Brown just shrugs it off because he's Jim Brown. But when he's waiting to meet with the warden after this fight, well, not the warden again, it's the captain. I keep saying that. But he sees a news broadcast that says, hey, this old carnival, this old shitty Coney Island, they're going to tear it down and put in something new.
Yeah.
And they actually do the dramatic zoom on the place exactly where he's hidden the money.
Yeah.
So
I
now,
mean, because it's an evil clown mouth, ticket stand or whatever.
yeah. But now he can't wait his 1 to 5 years.
Right.
He's got to get out now. So this is when he decides to meet with the Italian mafia guy and say, "Hey, let's cut a deal here.
Yeah, basically,
Get me out."
Yeah, I'm clearly not going to tell you where it is. You're going to get me out, and I will take it to you. And what did he say? He wants
a third.
Yeah.
He tells him, "I just want a third. Half a mil is enough."
There's so many like people with offers and counter offers. It's kind of hard to keep straight.
Yeah, because I can't remember when, but at some point the captain comes in and offers the mafia guy. He's like, "I want 10%.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get this, and I'll get 10%." And the mafia guy's like, "How about you fuck off?"
Yeah, because this guy's already working for him. His job is already like get the information from Jim Brown, even short of killing him. And then he's basically like, "Yeah, I'll do that, but I want more." He's kind of trying to shake down the mob guy. And clearly,
yeah, and the mob guy's not having any.
I don't know if you're clear, but I mean, if you've ever seen a movie, I don't think mob guys. That's you don't generally don't teach a teacher. Don't try to shake down a mob guy. It's just basic 101.
Yeah.
Don't ever try to. Don't do the teeth for a dentist. Don't paint a painter's house.
Don't tug on Superman's cape.
Yeah, don't spit in the wind.
Don't pull the mask on the old Lone Ranger.
And you definitely don't mess around with Jim Brown.
Brought it all back. Yeah. So now he's got a ticking clock, and the mafia guy has said, "All right, here's what can happen. You'll need a hook. You'll need 30 feet of rope. This is when it needs to happen. Is when they're doing the count and they're changing guard shifts simultaneously. That's how it's got to go down."
Yeah, he gives him like the basic meat of the plan. Like you need a grappling hook, rope, and then this is the time frame you can do it. And then he also gives him the idea of like, don't actually go over the wall, just make them think you went over the wall. But he doesn't really give them any more than that. And then Jim Brown goes to the other guy. I don't remember what his name in this movie is, but the pimp guy.
Gator?
Gator, yes.
We're just going to call him Gator.
Sure, fine. Goes to him and gives
The
him
name's Jackson Barney in this movie, but I prefer Gator.
Sure. Yeah, and then they come up with like a whole... not on screen. They've concocted this plan off screen, and then we just kind of see it sort of happening. But yeah, he dresses up as a... they have some sort of construction going on that has to... the workers have to get checked in and out every day at the prison. And then he rolls up with a porta potty.
Yeah, this Gator rolls up with all this.
And then puts it sort of like in a very specific spot in the yard, and it's like, I guess what he's done is he has dug a hole under the porta potty with a false floor, so that Jim Brown's going to escape out, basically hide under the porta potty, so that even if they open and check it, he's under it.
Yeah, he's not inside the
Right.
tank or anything.
Yeah,
He's-
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's hiding underneath the.
Right. It's not
the hole.
it's not full Shawshank yet.
Yeah,
Right.
he's not going to get shit upon.
Yeah.
Because this is Jim Brown we're talking about.
Jim Brown don't take no shit.
The shit would fall near him and then run away
Yeah.
out of fear that Jim Brown is going to smash it. But yeah, so this is the plan as we learn when it unfolds later. All we know is he's going to get help from Gator. He's going to go out at some point. And what he does also is when he confirms that it's Gator that's dropped off the portalette, he takes his ID, yanks it off, and tosses it into the dirt and kind of buries it. And we never see Gator take it. So for a while I was like, all right, what's up with the ID?
And I thought I saw him with an ID. Now, this might be a goof. It might be a fucking goof.
I was thinking the same thing.
I saw him with an ID.
Yes.
So I don't
Later
know.
on he has one.
I don't know if he stole one
Well,
or.
they made a big deal. Again, not having been to prison, definitely never been to prison in the 70s because I would have been very young. But or not existed in 1973. But they had hospital bands, your concert bands on, and that was the thing. They were like, if you lose this, you spend a night in the box. All that. I guess you could lose your ID. You just can't lose your wristband thing. I don't know.
But after he put it in the dirt, I distinctly saw it around his neck.
Later. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably a goof.
Yeah. Probably a good
Fucking goofs.
footage from other areas.
Yeah, but this is we find out later that Gator did take it, and this is where we get our scene with Dick Miller. He basically was driving a cab. Gator takes him at gunpoint. Don't turn around. Borrows some matches. Singes the ID. Leaves it in the back of the
burns off the
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
The mugshot.
right, and then basically just has him drop him off somewhere, and is like, "Get out of here! It's your lucky day. I'm not paying the bill. I'm not robbing you. Just get out of here." And leaves that behind as evidence. So basically, just leaving a breadcrumb trail that he's outside the prison.
Yeah, I just love Dick Miller in this scene because he's like, the other day I had a colored guy, a black guy, an African American in the car, and Gator's just like, shut up, just shut up.
He's trying so hard.
I know he really was trying to. I think he even says, I don't even know what to say anymore, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but he brings good Dick Miller energy to that scene. And the same when he calls the cops, because he's like, he was pointing a gun at my ear. That's not nice.
Hey, welcome to my new podcast, Big Dick Miller Energy.
Yeah.
You're just gonna watch the entire filmography of Dick Miller.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You just willed that into existence.
Probably
Somebody
I
heard it
mean,
and was like,
okay,
snap,
sure,
snap,
yeah.
get on it. Which is fine.
It's just gonna be
I
a
would-
TikTok account.
I would. Oh no! Now you ruined it.
No, that's just how it goes. Nobody wants to podcast anymore.
All these old men sitting around microphones,
Yeah.
talking like old men, even though the people that would be complaining about it don't sound like old men.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's true. So yes, Jim Brown has set this up, and he hides
Under the porta potty.
under the porta potty.
Yeah.
And
Portalette. What's the right word? Is there an official name for those things?
portalette.
Shitter.
Yeah, I mean, I could never
Honey
remember if
pot.
Portalette was a brand name.
Brand name. I think
Yeah.
Porta Potty is probably
general
also
Probably.
a brand name.
But these are like cement ones. These
Porta
are,
John
or they-
is
they're-
also a brand name.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not like modern day ones. These are like
It's a big
it looks
wooden
almost like
structure,
cement
right?
and wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks a little more substantial than what
Yeah,
we
while we're
have.
on the subject of
What
porta
gets
potties,
blown over in my neighborhood when the wind blows more than 20 miles an hour.
I'm
It's
not trying.
lovely.
I'm not trying to whatever. I'm just throwing this out there in case anyone's listening and they don't know this. Next time you're watching a movie and you see the credit roll by that says Honey Wagon Driver,
Yep.
that's the person that empties the shitters.
Yep.
It's a very stupid name for a terrible job.
It is.
But yeah,
It's also great.
it's actually worse. Because I mean, somehow you're like, it makes me never want to eat honey ever again. Because
Yeah.
you're like somewhere in your brain is like when you mix piss and shit and the chemicals together. Is that what honey is? Is like, I know it comes from bees, or so they say.
Just a shit stew.
Maybe it's because all the workers. Effluviance? Is that the word? All the workers eject stuff out of their bodies into a hole, like a bee would vomit honey into a into a cell.
Okay.
I think we're thinking too hard.
Yeah, I
about
think
this.
yeah.
I think somebody just said it, thought it was funny, and now it's stuck.
So
I'll
just
be
throwing
back.
that out
Like
there in
like
case-
most things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just when you're like, I wonder what a honey wagon driver is. Yeah, it's the shit sucker.
It's gator
It's
bait.
the guys from it's the guys from Ready to Rumble, basically.
It's just the color of the liquid that used to come out, and before they used all the blue stuff.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was kind of
Yeah,
thinking, and I was like, that is gross. It makes me not want to eat honey ever again.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah, gross. Anyway,
so he's hidden under the
shitter.
Mm-hmm. And the guards, they do the count. They go, it's one short. We're in that which cell block? And they're like, those guys are a bunch of fuck ups. And then they realize, wait a minute, that's Jim Brown's, isn't it? And the guys are the two guards. Just the faces they both give when they realize that it's Jim Brown who's gone. They're like, fuck. And they just start hitting guys, like just running around hitting guys with the bat, going, which one of you is Jim Brown? Where's Jim Brown? Who knows where he is? They're freaking out. And they go through the whole rigmarole of all the sirens, everything. And, you're kind of waiting for Jim Brown to do something, but you realize, nope, he's just going to camp out in there.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean...
And I mean, that's when we start to see Gator doing the stuff with the taxi and all that, because he's got a prison uniform on, so he's basically set that whole thing up for him.
Yeah, and there is a musical cue that I don't know when cinema scoring changed, but like, man, does it hit the? If you've seen modern movies, you think Jim Brown is about to get found out as soon as he exits the underground, like the pipes area of the prison, because it's like it swells, and then like he is not really looking where he's going and is doing like the the army crawl, and you're just like you're expecting to see the boots of the guy right there, and it's just like, but no, he just rolls and basically like combat rolls under the porta potty and stays there.
Yeah, I realized we had a pretty big 24 hours for him in this, because earlier in that day, Lurch gets taken out.
Right.
Because the captain has conspired with Macy's crew, and I guess is basically just sick of the Italian mob or whatever, because they straight up just kill Lurch. The guards.
Lurch is working in the laundry room, and basically to make it known of like how much he's going to fuck him over, he basically rolls on his smuggling drugs out of the laundry room operation, and in that, when they come in, Lurch puts a bit of a fight, gets the shit beat out of him, and then they take him to the
hospital, but it's
infirmary.
Macy and his guy who are running the infirmary.
Yeah, they're like, whatever, just call the hospital when you're done with him.
Yeah, and they straight up swirly drown him. And so he's dead. And it's really weird, because it's like they've kind of set this guy up as a big, like, oh, this is going to be, one of those guys he's got to take out at the end. And nope, he just goes out like a chump. Death by swirly.
Well, and then, like I said, I also don't understand. Somewhere along the way here, it has also happened that this is actually it's before he's escaped, because Jim Brown is there to witness it.
Yeah, this is right before his escape.
He is facilitated, like, so basically, like, I don't know who he's trying to con, and I don't know what anybody's angle that everyone is okay with this, but basically he gets what's the black mafia guys? Macy. Okay, he gets Macy in a room alone with the Italian mafia guy, while the captain guy and like two other black guards watch, and they're like, have at him. And it's just like an old hospital storage room, so there's just bedpans and shit in there, and they're just throwing banisters and things at each other.
I kind of like this fight. I mean, I know it's like an older guy, but he's just grabbing anything he can use kind of as a shield.
Right. Yeah.
But he eventually just gets. Macy murders him.
Yeah, he hits his head up against the wall a bunch of times and then just strangles him on the floor.
Yeah, and it's like, well, shit.
Yeah, this guy's dead now too.
Yeah.
So like I said, I do not understand how he made anyone okay with this. Like, other than I don't know.
And how it advances anything, because now he's like, well, all it does really is he goes, okay, now you got to deal with me. What are you gonna do, Jim Brown? I just want that money.
All right. So I don't really get it, but it happens.
Yeah, so that happens, and then that's the night where he breaks out. So he has broken out, but not broken out. But Dick Miller's called the police, said, "Hey, this guy Hook, he took me on a joyride for no reason. You got to get these criminals under control." Cut to the next morning, where we're reintroduced to the warden.
Yeah. So the captain is basically like, we don't need to alert. LAPD or whatever city they're in. We don't need to let the outside authorities. He hasn't left the prison. He's convinced. He's like, there's no way he could have left the prison. Not in the
Yeah,
time
he's
frame.
smart. He's like, he's still here.
Yeah.
I know he's still here. I just don't know where he is, but I know he's still here.
Yep.
And the problem with that is the next morning, LAPD has called the warden and said, hey, you got a guy who broke out.
Yeah, why didn't you let us?
Name of Hook, why didn't you let us know about this? And the warden proceeds to ensign out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
In a way.
It's almost like it's almost kind of like the quintessential chief freaking out thing that we've
Yeah.
always wanted for movies. You know,
Yeah,
that
the chief just losing his shit
just
and dressing
yeah,
down the
just
guy.
like keep going up an octave, like or not octave, but decibels levels every line. Or it's just like by the end he's just like, God damn it, get the fuck out of me.
He's so fucking
Yeah.
pissed at the captain. And he just keeps getting more pissed. And every time the captain tries to say it, he's like, he's still in here. And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing is like he is so angry, but he's not losing his shit. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's
getting
just
animated,
seething.
but yeah, it's like it is what he's saying is determined and not
Yeah.
just like I can't make words. Ah.
No, at the very end, he's just like, get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah, but still, it's not just like when you get so angry, you're just like
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. But so they go. Apparently, everyone goes through their normal day at that point because we don't really get back to Jim Brown until it's dark again, and they're doing the count, and everything's normal, and the captain's just like, God damn it, he's somewhere here because they've swept the entire.
Well, literally, he comes out of
area.
his dressing down thing, and it's just like motherfucker. Like the guy's like, "You go get out of my office," and it seems like he's maybe firing him or on his way to
Yeah.
firing him. So he's just like, he's on a mission now. Like he is still in the prison, and I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah, and he makes them sweep the yard
Yeah.
completely. Like he makes guys get in the dumpster and check it out, but nobody looks underneath the portalette.
Right.
It's basically the one of them takes a piss in it, and is like, "Nope, everything's good, man." And so they're like, "All right," but the warden still knows, or I'm sorry, the captain
Yeah.
still knows. So we get to the evening, and the captain gets smart and decides to go through the routine. He's like, all right, and where would he have gone? How would he have gotten out there? So he ends up going through the same boiler room and running up the path and then going through and he gets out and he spots the portalette and he's like, he's got to be in there.
Yeah.
It's got to be what it is.
But he hides behind there's a cement mixing truck
Yep.
there too. But
Yep, he hides behind the truck with a sledgehammer. And then that's when we kind of get a little bit of our ticking bomb because Jim Brown finally comes out and he's got his grappling hook.
And again, like, I don't know, maybe I don't even think this is like a modern cinema. This is just like it's a bad shot because they give you a POV shot from like guy on top of the truck that would be
Yeah.
out of view of Jim Brown, and you're like, oh, clearly he's up there. He's not. He's just around the side of the truck. But it's like, I don't know if that was done intentionally. I just think it's not understanding that your brain is going to go, that's him.
I felt like it was just waiting. You keep waiting on the right side of the frame for the guy to pop out and tag him. But the thing is, they cut to a different shot before they do that.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
on
I
ground
think it
level.
actually reverses. Like it doesn't. The
It's a
geography
bad
doesn't work.
transition. Yeah. But they fight. Jim Brown's able to deflect the sledgehammer, and then beats the shit out of this guy. And smartly, it realizes, hey, I can take his Where's Pat uniform and switch that because this uniform is ill-fitting on this guy, especially when he's running around at the end. It's very SNL Pat.
Yeah.
Except if it was like a prison uniform.
It's very tight polyester.
It
looks exactly like you'd think on a
it is
husky
like the
man.
least flattering thing you can put on a husky guy like that.
Right. I mean, it's like
He looks
it's like Samantha
terrible.
Mathis in Broken Arrow, but not with nice feminine curves behind it.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But, however, it fits Jim Brown because he swaps the clothing out. Because at first I'm like, what the fuck is he wasting time with this? Just toss the hook up, get the fuck out of there. Because you have strangled this man to death just seconds before, and you can just leave him there.
Well,
But Jim Brown is smart.
Yeah, and he unsnaps his hospital bracelet and snaps it on the captain,
I would like to know
Wrist.
someone that can do that.
Jim Brown.
Jim
Oh,
Brown.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right. My
He's
bad.
got powers.
Yeah. But yeah, he gets
Then
those
he-
on, and then he hoists him all the way up,
Hoists.
him up to the top of the cement truck, and tosses him in the chute which the way this happens should not happen the way it does
Correct.
in the end. But anyway,
Still cool. Rule of cool.
he tosses him up there and then gets the hook over, gets over. The van's there to pick him up. Get the fuck out. Cut to next morning.
Is it the warden taking the bite? It's the warden taking
The warden is doing an interview with the
Yeah.
news, being like, "Oh, that we take the safety of the prisoners very seriously, and we're going to have this is going to be a new cafeteria for them."
Like, why would you walk the news over to actively being poured concrete? Or why would the workers allow anyone to get that close to actively being poured concrete? You know, like
Yeah.
why would that?
It's
Why
not
would that?
dangerous?
I mean,
Can't
it's.
that shit
that-
burn you if you?
Nah, it's not that dangerous.
I mean, it's smelly. It splatters. I'm just saying, like you
Yeah.
know, you wouldn't get close to that, and it's not like that's part of the tour of the facility. Is like,
Yeah.
Well, he's showing them progress in action.
oh,
Yeah.
right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it makes for a cool scene.
But
That's
anyway, what starts coming down are parts of the parts of the captain, because we see a leg come down first, and then we see the wrist, and the warden picks up the hand and looks at the wrist and goes, "Well, I guess he didn't get out anyway." He's like, "The captain was right."
I mean, look, I get it.
Nobody's going to believe this for longer than
Not
30 minutes.
No, I mean, because like this guy is now missing, and
Yep.
when he doesn't show back up, I mean, questions going to be asked about that. I mean, it's not a foolproof, like, you know, it'd be, you know, a better put together, like, you
It
know,
gave him enough lead time.
I mean, this isn't like a magical Ocean's 11 ending where it's like, oh, that totally made sense. I didn't even think of all that.
Yeah.
You know, this is just like, no, if you think about that for 2 seconds, it falls apart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't fall apart long enough for him to get basically a James Bond ending where he's in France
Mhm.
and on a boat, just living the life
Yeah.
with his lady friend.
Anything is possible.
Yep. And you know, the French lady asked him about America being the land of opportunity, and
Well, she says,
I thought the land of opportunity was only for the white man.
or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like,
Mont Blanc.
yeah, Benoit Blanc.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we just let them keep thinking that while we steal all of their shit.
Yep.
Cool. Credits.
but yeah, I mean, $750,000 back then, that would get him pretty far, because he was splitting it 50-50 with Gator.
oh, was it 50-50? Okay,
yeah. For some reason, he agreed to 50-50 with Gator,
But for all we know, he didn't tell him how much was actually. I don't know. Everybody knew about the money
no,
for some
everybody knew how much was in there. So
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. But that's how it ends. He gets out.
reason. Yep.
Scot free. Hooray! Hooray!
Definitely not a Hammer movie where he would be, you know, something would have gone wrong and he would have died.
Yep.
Because Fred the Hammer seemed to be a fan of dark endings like that. But this is Jim Brown, who's like, no, Jim Brown's going to win. You know Jim Brown's going to win. You just don't know how Jim Brown's going to win.
I like how he wins in this. It's
Yeah.
fine. The only thing is, like, you know, like that ending with the captain.
Mm-hmm.
You would have been found out pretty quick. The idea is good.
Yeah.
It gives them time, like while they're all shocked and wondering what's happening and trying to figure out how to cover this up from the media. They're not going to notice the captain is missing for a couple days, and then they might assume that he got murdered or he ran away with, you know,
The money.
Yeah.
he ran away because he.
I mean, they had dental records in the 70s, so I mean, but would they have bothered? I don't
would
know.
they have had
Would they have dug it out
his
of
dental
the concrete?
records?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying we didn't do DNA
Sure.
testing then, but I mean, we've been doing dental record type things for a while. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's going to give him enough lead time to go get that case
To
and-
get to France.
Oh
and
yeah,
get the
yeah.
fuck
I mean,
out.
Especially
it's,
'cause
it's a great diversion. It's just
Yeah.
not a long-term solution.
Yeah. That's why he's in France.
Yeah.
He's not coming.
I-
He's got the
again,
money and he's not giving it back.
I mean, again, just in the long-term plan things, I'm pretty sure we can extract people from France. Like, you might want to go to like
Extradite.
Peru. Yeah.
Maybe it's French Guiana, not France.
Oh,
It's different.
possibly. I
I
think it
don't
would
think
still
it's
be
different. Yeah.
under
I'm just-
France's rules, but
I'm just goofing.
unless like I can go to Puerto Rico and like live different laws. I don't know if that's how that works. I don't know how territories work.
Well, you know, the French have different rules for their territories.
Ah,
You go to Australia. Just kangaroo jacket.
okay.
Do not try to do that to a kangaroo.
Yeah.
You will get your ass whipped.
Yeah. But either way, he made it.
He did.
Yes, he
It's
did.
a happy ending.
Mhm.
Jim Brown wins again.
As he should.
Jim Brown's kind of like the original superhero. You know?
I mean, I don't know about original, but
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
He's not the first superhero for sure. but-
Gilgamesh maybe, but like,
Nah.
all right.
Jim Brown existed before Gilgamesh. I don't know why you would even suggest otherwise.
He's an original-
I apologize.
He's an original.
Jim Brown is a force of nature.
Yes.
He's the original what? Go ahead.
He's an original superhero type.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
But yes.
And
but,
force
but,
of nature.
but that's the thing in every Jim Brown movie, it's like he's basically treated like a superhero. Where it's like guys will come at him, they might get the drop on him a couple times, but he's going to beat the shit out of them by the end.
Yes.
And they're going to die and he's going to live because he's Jim Brown.
The way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. I will not bring Mesopotamian knowledge into arguments about Jim Brown ever again.
Jim Brown would not appreciate that.
That was twice.
Twice I've said Mesopotamian tonight?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
You're approaching a They Might Be Giant song.
All right. Just took very early.
Jim Brown would not
ancient
appreciate that
history.
either. I could not see Jim Brown listening to They Might Be Giants.
Boy. So, now it comes time for the ratings.
Yeah. 4 jocks. I really like this. I mean, this is just a solid movie. I love Jim Brown whenever he shows up. And I'm not just saying that because I'm afraid of Jim Brown. I really love his persona. I mean, he's playing Jim Brown in every movie, but that's fine for me because I like Jim Brown. But I mean,
movies.
But yeah, but there's so much anticlimactic, like the way basically the white gang is just disintegrated is very anticlimactic because Jim Brown has no part in any of it. It just kind of like happens around him. And that's the stuff that's kind of like,
I mean,
I don't really care.
It's funny. Like, I mean, again, I'm not trying to harp on this, but this movie at times is almost like an anti-blaxploitation movie because there is one scene in particular where Jim Brown, I think it's there's like 2 or 3 times where he has almost friendly sit downs with the Italian mob guy. And,
Yeah.
and I don't think we've ever limited it. Like he's got this, like, he's got an armchair and like a dining room table and he's always painting something in the corner, like
Yeah.
a sailboat or the Last Supper or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just saying, like he's
Yeah, he's
got,
living the life.
Yeah,
in,
he's
in
got
the
this,
joint.
and he's always got like whatever,
There's no revenge against
wine
Whitey.
and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got wine in the little basket bottom thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
Chianti.
yeah, Chianti. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn it, what's the fucking Hannibal Lecter fava beans thing? I could not finish the quote in my head.
He also has champagne at one point.
But I'm just saying.
I think that was just Pruno,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, he did make the one guy sit on a toilet, which I guess
Yeah.
just becomes another seat when you're in prison. But I was getting the rest of my point is like one of his sit downs. He's basically like, man, what is this even about? Like white, black, like why do we care? We're just each out after our own things. Or I mean, he's basically just gives us like racism is fucking stupid speech to like
Yeah.
this guy. It's like our crime business is our crime business, not because of the color of our skin. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things of this. Like it's like race is like happening in the background, but it's like Jim Brown's character is above it. Doesn't really factor into it. It's just like he has his own agenda. It's like he has a finish line of like, I want that money. Give me the paper,
Yeah.
and I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, he's existed since pre-Gilgamesh times.
That's
he's
true.
above all
Yes,
this.
yes.
All this petty
Right.
shit. But yeah, but it's 4 jocks. It can't quite get to 5. Like if he had a better like final confrontation with Lurch, and if he had gone, and like if something else had, if the mob boss thing had played out differently, because it as it is, it doesn't make sense. But otherwise, I mean, it's a great movie. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. Maybe not quite as much, so I'm going to give it a 3. I really like the warden trying to earn an ensign award, but it's just righteous fury. It's not
Yeah.
complete bald panic.
Yeah, he's justified in being as pissed off as he
Yeah.
is.
I like Jim Brown being Jim Brown in movies. I think it's great. And altogether, it's fine. It's not the best, but it gets the damn job done. I would like to see more revenge against racist whiteys, but we get enough, I think. But that's just that's just what I want out of a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about like, wasn't it Rip Torn who gets thrown, or no, it's just some random dude that's thrown in the world's angriest fountain in Slaughter. Remember, there's that fountain that is just like a wave pool for some reason, and just like things like that. It's I like touches like that. I like to see racists get tossed out of windows and stuff. But yeah, same. I think Three Jocks for me. It's a solid enough movie. I just like. There's nothing like completely blew my socks off. It's solid all around. I mean, if you need the warnings, I mean, I know this seems silly, but modern day times, clearly there's some language from the 70s.
They say the N slur.
They say that a few
and
times.
F slur.
Yeah, I'm just saying
for homosexuals.
because I mean it's a prison movie, so that gets tossed around.
Yeah,
that is a.
It's for the time. It's not the worst.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like it's
like the gay character actually gets treated fine.
Yeah, I mean it's like
at least by Jim Brown.
Yeah, Jim Brown basically is just like, nah, get away.
Yeah,
like I'm just leave me out of this.
Like the gay panic is actually pretty tame for a 70s movie. Is what I'm saying. Like when you're presented with an openly gay character, is basically like, I like your ass and I want to fuck it, and he's just like, no, thank you. Like I'm not just like get. I mean, he might have had a slight bit more comeback the first time, but then it was just like, dude, no, like not interested.
Yeah, look, I'm Jim Brown.
Yeah, like, yeah. You're not getting my Brown.
Mm-hmm.
What was your rating?
3.
3. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't run out of blaxploitation movies.
Not yet. I did discover last week, I think it was when I was editing or something like that, or when I was thinking about editing, a website called the Department of Afro-American Research, Arts, and Culture. So it's DARA Archive, DAARAARCHIVE.org, which has just a ton of bits and bobs and information about blaxploitation movies. Like they have a whole section dedicated to like the blaxploitation history and like what constitutes blaxploitation history. Like their films by era, or like vintage Black Hollywood, or uncategorized vintage Black Hollywood, race film era, civil rights era, blaxploitation, and modern. So it looks like they do a lot. So it's as I read through it, I'm pretty interested in what they've got going on at the DARA archive. I just thought I'd throw that little tidbit out there if people want to do some more research.
Cool.
I feel like it should just be Darkive. Like, I mean, Darkive?
Darkive? Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, that sounds bad. Yeah, all right. No, all right.
I mean,
I just like to shorten things,
Look,
especially when they have...
If they want to decide to call it the Darkive, that's fine. I'm not going to tell them to do it.
I was just saying, like, you have two words that it's confusing when there's
right.
in your...
We're portmanteau fans, and it makes our brains happy to smoosh words together.
It does.
In this case, it could be the DARA archive until they tell me different.
True.
Do we have any emails, Mackie? You're looking at your telephone like we have emails.
No, I was checking and we don't.
Cool. Well, that means I just get to tell you how to send us emails, and that's bmf@bmfcast.com. Or if you want to leave us a message on the Garfield phone, if you want to talk to our voice answering system, 910-5-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. Tell us about a blaxploitation movie that you love, or something else. I don't care. Just talk to us. We're lonely. And speaking of lonely, I guess, really bad segue there, but go to our website, which is bmfcast.com. And if you're...
Yeah, like hundreds of local singles are waiting to meet you at bmfcast.com.
Yes. Hot MILFs in your area.
Yeah.
If your money is lonely, you can partner it up with the money of other like-minded money at patreon.com/bmfcast and help us pay the bills here. We got shit to pay for, like SD cards and lights and trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Trucks, both Turner and Internet.
True. It's a capital idea.
Yeah. And tax season's coming up, and we have to pay for that shit, too. So.
Yep.
Give us money.
Please.
Or else.
Give us money. Please.
Or else.
Or else.
Or else we'll send Jim Brown after you.
I'm sending my money right now.
That's threatening. I mean, that might be considered some. No, actually, God damn it! Why is all of our like normal language race tinged? I was about to say that's blackmail, and that's literally a blackmail. So, God damn it! I don't mean it like that. I just, as I was saying it, I was like,
I think we need to get out of here.
Fine. I am Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ, and this is BMFcast out. See you jive turkeys next week. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Burn 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 burn. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba. So,
That cuts out.
how's everyone's whatever? I don't know.
Weekend.
Great.
Weekend.
No,
sucked.
we've talked enough. Nobody cares. Y'all don't care, do you?
Bye, everybody.
We don't know if you're still there.
No, I'm going home.
Oh,
I'm leaving.
I meant them.
I
I meant them.
Mama.
Yeah, I'm closing the internet window. So if you say anything, I won't read it, but know that I appreciated your comment.
And I never learned to read.
Right. That's why we have so much trouble with him. Peeing in the corner and everything.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Apparently, I was disconnected, and it tried to reconnect me. And
Oh,
I
no.
was successfully connected.
Dara Archive.
Dark. I like it. All right, I'm shutting that window down.